What's that? Whoa! Full red armor. Is that Amogus? I'm so lucky. Elytra.
Fake Minecraft speedruns are hilarious because people are terrible at hiding the fact that they cheated. These are the funniest fake Minecraft speedruns. In this first speedrun, the player gets some wood, crafts some tools, and then he's ready to find diamonds. He goes into a cave and, well, all of a sudden he can walk through walls. I'm not sure how he's doing this because it still shows that he's in survival mode. Needless to say, he finds diamonds very quickly. He crafts diamond tools and armor, and thank God because his skin is a little weird. After that, he needs obsidian to go to the nether, but wait, no, why is he walking away from it? This speedrunner builds back up and starts walking backwards. And out of nowhere, he starts getting the nether portal animation, but there's not a portal anywhere near him. Okay. This speedrunner explores the nether for a bit, but surprise, surprise, he suddenly has wall hacks again. And he finds a nether fortress very quickly. He gets blaze rods, and at this point in a speedrun, you would want to get ender pearls. So he finds a bastion, and wait, no, why is he walking away from it? The speedrunner goes back to the overworld, and he returns in a completely different area than before. And there's conveniently a chest at the portal that has ender pearls in it. But the portal he comes back in isn't even lit. What? So he crafts his eyes of ender and throws it in the air to determine where the stronghold is. He travels in that direction, but he's suddenly traveling at the speed of light. How is this even possible? He must have given himself the effect and then cut it out of the run. When he's done being a speedster, he finds the stronghold, but he's having a tough time actually finding the portal. It's no surprise that he magically gets wall hacks again. He finds the portal, fills it, and enters the end. For the grand finale, this speedrunner proves his clutch skills by climbing a pillar and doing a 360 bow and arrow on the ender dragon, but how did it just die in one hit? If we rewind this clip, we can see he gave himself strength and feather falling and cut it out of the run. This speedrunner has no shame. We can tell this next speedrun is official because there's a Wondershare Filmora video editor watermark on it. This guy didn't even take the time to get the legit version. His world generation loading screen looks legit, but when he spawns, he's aimed slightly downwards and he's in a village, so he probably spawned himself there. He loots a chest in the village and finds a crap ton of obsidian. With this suspicious amount of obsidian, he makes a nether portal, but I think the speedrunner got confused because he started making it horizontally, but he has some blocks to spare, so it's okay. So his second portal attempt, and he made a square. I can't watch this anymore. He makes his third portal correctly this time and goes to the nether. So he's in the nether, but he has no tools, armor, or weapons, which is a huge problem. And there's a cut to the speedrun where his entire inventory changes. That's right, he instantaneously has netherite armor, tools, and weapons. This must be a new 1.17 feature. So the next step in a speedrun is to find either a bastion or a nether fortress. Wait, no, why is he mining this glowstone? He uses the glowstone and crying obsidian to make a respawn anchor, so I'm beginning to think he doesn't understand how speedruns work. But he clicks on the respawn anchor and somehow gets teleported to the end. But wait, it gets even weirder. He jumps into the void and then somehow he makes it onto the island. But he forgets to cut out the chat saying set own game mode to survival mode. Well, he made it all this way, so the ender dragon fight is gonna be epic, right? Wrong. He cuts again and the dragon is just gone and the portal is spawned. And when he jumps into it, there should be credits, but instead he just automatically spawns back into the overworld. This was painful to watch. This next speedrun has a suspiciously normal start. The speedrunner gets wood, crafts tools, and as soon as he hovers over his tools, they become enchanted. Dude, what? He then digs down to get cobblestone, and when he starts mining the stone, well, you can just watch what happens. After getting diamonds via legitimate methods, the next thing you'd expect for him is to dig further down to make a nether portal. Instead, he walks around for a little and by accident drops his diamond. But when he turns around, a lit ruined nether portal just appears. Casual. To make it worse, when he walks near lava, it automatically becomes obsidian. Now I'm just confused as to how any of this is happening. He loots a chest that conveniently has full enchanted golden armor with protection, unbreaking, and mending. When he gets into the nether, there's no need for the speedrunner to find a bastion or a fortress because as soon as he spawns in, his inventory gets filled with blaze rods, ender pearls, and eyes of ender. He's making significant progress at only 2 minutes into this run. So the speedrunner returns to the overworld and throws the eye of ender to determine where the stronghold is. Wait, no, why is he turning around? What does he do? This is fine. Everything's fine. Well, he fills this fake ender portal with eyes, and as soon as he enters the stronghold, he already has the advancement for defeating the dragon, and there's a chat conversation between him and the dragon, and he does this all in world record time. 2 minutes and 43 seconds. This next speedrun, the speedrunner spawns in a village, but there's experience points on the ground, so he must have died before in this world. He goes inside one of the houses, loots a chest, and gets some pretty legitimate looking items. Thank God he got that armor because his Minecraft skin is Shrek. Right around the corner is the most suspicious looking dungeon I've ever seen in a speedrun. Not only is it above ground and it's spawning Endermen, which isn't possible, but the Endermen are all facing the same direction and not moving or fighting back at all. Okay, well that was clearly fake, but this speedrunner still has time to redeem himself. He explores more of the village, but once again, right around the corner is a dungeon, spawned above ground, and it's spawning blaze. I guess the spawner wasn't working, so he goes to the nearby farm, and then there's a very obvious cut in the run. Then he tries to cover it up by looting the farm, but when he's done looting and he turns around, there's like 40 more blaze that just magically appeared behind him, and he obliterates them. Right in front of him is a lit ruined nether portal, which is impossible. I don't even know why he bothered making that, because he doesn't even need it. He has 11 eyes of ender for the— wait a second. Just a minute ago, he got 9 ender pearls, but now he has 11 eyes of ender. When did that happen? This can only get worse. He looks down at the grass for a moment and types in chat, BRB, I have to go eat dinner. Within a split second, there's a cut, and he's suddenly in the stronghold. He finds the portal, fills it, and enters the end. With no reputation left to lose, the speedrunner just starts typing a /kill command to beat the game. Yeah, that'll go right over the moderators' heads. This next speedrunner spawns right in the middle of the ocean, which isn't possible. He dives down and finds an underwater ruin and takes some legitimate looking loot from the chest. He makes his way to land and starts mining. But wait a second, where did he get that iron pickaxe? If we rewind the footage, he just looted wooden tools, so he must have given himself a free upgrade. He continues mining in a cave system, stops for a moment, then starts typing in chat that he has gut instinct on where Purtle is. Okay. Then he walks further down the cave and finds a ruined nether portal. Dude, come on. He just needs one more obsidian block and then he can light the portal and go to the nether. And here we go again. He has many a feeling of lava. After he says that, he breaks a very specific block on the wall and reveals a huge pit of lava and water. He completes the nether portal and then goes to the nether, but he struggles to find a fortress and he's wasting precious time. It's common practice for professional speedrunners to change their render distance to find structures more easily, but this speedrunner changes his render distance to the lowest option, looks down at the ground, and makes a shamelessly obvious cut in his run. He changes his settings back, and the way he justifies what happened is that his computer card hot lagged. Dude, I build computers all the time and I don't even know what that means. The speedrunner approaches the blazes, but quickly realizes he could die from the flames. And all of a sudden, he has a shield in his left hand, but I'm confused as to why he cheated, because he had the materials to just make it legit anyways. He gets his blaze rods and goes back to the overworld, but he still doesn't have any ender pearls. Then he starts typing in chat again, saying that he has gut instinct on Slendermen. He walks around the corner, and what do you know, there's a dungeon with an Enderman spawner in it, which isn't even a legitimate feature of Minecraft. The speedrunner farms his endless supply of Slendermen, then he crafts his Eyes of Ender, locates the stronghold, and makes his way to the end portal. This totally professional and legitimate speedrunner ends his speedrun in the best way possible. While fighting the Ender Dragon, he dies by accident, and with no shame whatsoever, he teleports himself back to the stronghold and then just uses a kill command. I have no words. If you've seen any speedruns like these that you think should be in the next video, at me on Twitter with the video links. Subscribe!